Hello folks, and welcome to Tim's Offgrid. Today I'm going to be building a passive solar heater. I've watched a lot of different videos on YouTube and a lot of different ways that people build these. I've got some different ideas than a lot of them that I've seen. And the thing with this is, you build out your frame, you build out your heat collection apparatus, whatever that may be, whether that's cans, gutter material, drip edge, whatever. But the idea I have is, what if this could be a two-pass system? What if I could initially bring it over top of my heat transfer area, bring it behind, and bring it back through? So a two-pass system. I've seen labyrinth systems. I've seen many single-pass systems. I've seen systems that go above your heat transfer surface as well as below your heat transfer surface. But what if I could go above the heat transfer surface, behind it, and back through it? So a two-pass system. I don't know if I can get that done or not, but I'm going to give it a try. And that's why we went with 2x8s versus 2x4s or 1x4s or anything like that. I wanted to give this a good structure so it could be moved around without falling apart and have enough surface area to where I could do multiple passes. I'm also going to use insulating material for my system, and I have a heat transfer fan that we're going to use that has variable speeds. And right now I'm using a 120 volt for that fan. Later perhaps we make this more off-grid with a solar panel and a 12 volt fan or something like that. So I'm going to film some of the segments of this and show you some of the ideas that I come up with and how I'm going to do this. And this is going to be based off 30x36 pane of glass to go over the top of it. And we'll show you all the different steps of putting it together. So first, obviously I cut 33x36, so I'd have overlap on the top and bottom of the sides. So I'm going to get this stuff screwed together and we're going to go from there. The purpose of the dowels will be to hold that glass in place. Now, the dowels don't need to be that far down. So, the glass I think was 3/32. So, we will go down just enough to cover that. So that's, let's see here. I'm thinking if we do like a 1/4 inch, plus that gives us room for the glass, and if we need any insulating material or anything. So I'm going to drill a few holes in here so we can screw this on. And look, I'm the guy that will always do more. So anything I build is always like pretty robust. So I flipped the box over and I'm looking at what depths I have left in here, moving these dowels around. So the next thing I want to do is have the dowels at a depth to where I can put a layer of insulation in here, as well as some of the wood backing from here, and then my drip edge or corrugated metal, so to speak, that I'll have. So first things first, I need to cut a 30 by 36 piece of styrofoam off the 4 by 8 sheet. Alright, that'll work. I don't want this to go in yet, because we want to cut a piece of paneling to go in first, because I'm going to glue the drip edges to the piece of paneling. So essentially, we're going to put the paneling in, we're going to put the insulation in, I'm going to put these in to support it from the bottom, and then we'll come back from the top and screw those pieces in, glue those pieces in. Behind this, we'll put another layer of insulation. So I want about 2 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the 6 inches off of both of these so I can have a spacer on the other side as well. Idea is I get this flat right here. It's okay that that's doing its thing right now. You'll see why. Put my layer of insulation in here. Let's see if there's any one way that's better than the other with this in here. Slightly trimming this to fit as well, because I kind of busted out over here. Got in my groove I can see. We ended up with some extra material. the idea would be, my idea is a first pass that goes over the drip edge and a second pass that goes back through the drip edge. Now, I'm reading this other chamber in the very, very back that could be used for another pass, whatever, you know, just different ideas. So the idea on this would be that it have some holes, whether they're in the top, where air draws into it, and then these will terminate just shy of the very end, and then air could come back through these. So that's one idea on a 2-pass, but remember, I'm also building the back of it in case I want to come up with some other ideas where we can use some hose and things like that to go across, make it go through some hoses through the back part, and then have it come back through again. So just some ideas. So we need to get on a standardized length. So I'm thinking that for this first one, we're going to terminate with a couple inches left because we got the fan and we want all the air to channel up towards the fan. Now let me grab that. Fan will be in the back. You won't see this fan from the front because if we truly want this to work the way I want it to work, the air will go across the front of these, come down, go through them. They terminate flush, and then the fan is underneath. So just got to think about that. That may or may not work, but we may just get to a system that I've seen before and start doing some testing on a system that does both at the same time, but I really don't want to do that. All right, so with that being right, and I've just thought about this, with that being right about 12.85 based on a 12.56, we're not taking into account any of the frictional losses for the air passing across here. So what I'm going to do is in the very middle, I'm going to do the 3/4. And then the two sides, at the extreme sides, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch drill bit. And then I'm going to do the rest at 5/8. So that gets us at 13, that'll be 9 at 5/8, 10 and 11 at 1/2 inch, the 12th one at 3/4, and then maybe I'll just add one more 1/2 inch one. Let's do that. And none of this. Be careful when drilling these because you don't want to go through the metal. So you'll get through the insulation and you'll just get through that piece of paneling and stop. Fix those. All right, I just flipped it back over. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4 that I screwed over. I'll use those leftover pieces. But before I do that, I'm going to tilt this up and try to get any material to drop down. Holes, everything's vacuumed, cleaned up. We're going to put the last piece of insulation on. And we'll put the last piece of wood. That's what we'll trace for that. All right, I'm going to put the fan right about here. This is where we have to get it right. All right. So instead of the drill bit, I'm going to go ahead and use the paddle bit because pretty sure I can control it a lot better. So be super careful with this. The next thing I'm going to grab my jigsaw. There we go. Oh, never mind, I didn't have it seated in there. That time I tried to turn too much and popped it out. All right, so I went ahead and drilled that hole out. I vacuumed everything up, and I'm going to tell you, this is one heck of a fan. This one will go up to 180 CFM, and it is controllable from a dial. And that's why I got this, because I wanted to see, you know, what was going to be the optimal RPM, etc. But as soon as I cranked it on and cranked it up, it started pulling material out of the hole. Look at that. For anything that was left in there. That's pretty impressive, right? So I'm using this as one last vacuum in there, and then I'm going to put the gratings on either side of it so nothing can ever get jammed up in there. And then my idea is later that I take flex duct and mount flex duct on here and get it going. So this thing is pretty impressive. All right. Now I also took, this is like door weather seal material to make a gasket. So I took the material and I just laid it on top and cut the pieces and cut in between, etc. Peeled the backing, stuck it on. Since this is going to be, this will be the top of it, I want the wire pointed down, so that's probably good right there. I did take a 3/16 drill bit, and I'm drilling these out some so that then I can run a 3-inch screw down through the top of this and through the grates and into the insulation, so this will hold in place. So that's pretty much the step I'm at right now. If you have issues with this thing adhering or staying fastened or whatever, then you can caulk around it. I'm backing this up because I noticed that it rode up just a little bit when it was going in. All right. Now, solidly, that is, we are done with the back. We're going to move back to the front, and I'll move back to where I'm no way going to be in front of the camera or whatever. So that's that. We still need to drill the initial inlet holes. So I'm going to disconnect the fan for right now. Hold it up like that, and remember the initial inlet holes are down here. So I'll rotate. I can show how those go in. right. Now you probably get a really good view of where we're going to be working right here. So I'm going to pop the pilot holes this way so that I'm right here in the valleys. So the pilot holes will go where they're supposed to go. And again, this is the bottom. So the air will come up across, the air is going to go under, and the air is going to go up the plenum I built in the back and out through the fan. Let me check the glass fitment. Back up some so we can see everything. There we are. There we go. All right, now it's in there really good. And I can tell you one of the things I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to put some of that gasket material on top of here, just as a safety net. All right, that's a wrap. So I'm going to stand it up and take a look at the finished product. And fantastic. It's like, can you get far enough back to film this thing? All right, so when we do the test tomorrow, we'll make sure that it's kicked back so the air can come up through the bottom, come up to the top, come down through the drip edge, come back up through the plenum we made in the back, and come out through the fan. So let's do a test right quick. I'll bring this over to the edge of the table.